Hello guys, hello. There is a thing that I never actually answered in a video. I have covered some things like this, analyzing the first minutes of an N1 sprint. But yeah, as I am moving into, well, the end game probably, of me spending time in Tribalwars, a guy asked me a question, that is, what sort of logic should I follow to upgrade my village, which is a pretty good question, and it overall depends from round to round. I'm gonna try to not spend infinite time as I usually do in these videos, and I'm gonna go through things quickly. This video will be divided in topics, so you can see them below in the time of the video. And yeah, so first we're gonna start with why it really matters, why it really is relevant that you know what to build, and well, the impact that really has. So first of all, I mean, unless you are a true beginner in the game, you will know what upgrading every building does. And if you are a really novice player in the game, there is some videos that I made a while ago. You can probably look for them, that literally tell you everything: the units, the buildings, what they do, etc., etc. But the general idea is that upgrading buildings generally makes things run faster. So for example, if you upgrade the headquarters, everything building in the headquarters will be happening faster. I'm not gonna show you now, but well, just take my word for it. You probably know that's how it works. So you can follow that logic for pretty much anything else. For the barracks, everything in the barracks produces faster. For the stable, everything in the stable produces faster, etc., etc. So that is the general logic. The mines as well, you get more production. Upgrading warehouse and farm, you get more space, whatever. You get more of it. So the idea of this is, well, what you should aim at upgrading, and why. So I've decided to split this into general compositions that you should follow to upgrade the village. And well, those three are if you want to fight early, if you want to go for academy early, or if you are in a very big need for resources. So let's start. I made a few topics after that I will show you for each one of the topics. But first let's give one example of each. So for the early fight, we can come here and see, for example, this 7v7 hunt. Maybe not the best. Let me see. I said early fighting, right? So this one surely is the perfect example. So early fighting, what is the goal here? Generally, this round it was not quite that, because it was a 1v4 hunt. But generally, why you would want to fight early is, well, you either like have some enemy that you made in the previous round that you are sure will attack you, but you want to attack him first. Or let's say you spawn in one area that doesn't have many barbarian villages, for example, and you have like one or two guys near you that maybe are not so bad, and you've seen their name before, and you're like, okay, well, I have to get rid of them so that I can actually farm. So those are mostly the reasons as to why you would want to fight early. Or I don't know, let's say you are playing also a speed round where you have like one or two opponents only on the round, and it's a small server, so you don't really need to drag the game on for very long if you are able to just kill them. So you most of the times just do that. So the general logic of doing this, as you will see me doing throughout this video, is, first of all, in the beginning, it is when you generally have more resources. In this case, I had this guy right by me, but even then, I still had these villages all to my south that no one was farming, so I was the only one farming those villages in the very beginning of the game. So that means that in the beginning, I can generally afford. Let me see the village build. I can generally afford. This is your average village build until you get to light cavalry. You need to upgrade wood because you need a lot of wood to keep up the production of spears. But these are things you can learn from watching sprint videos. That's just the general idea. You need to do this in every sort of scenario. But moving into later on, what you will see me do is hopefully what you will see me do slowly is continue to upgrade the headquarters because that's something I can do in the beginning because I have the resources to do so, and that gives me a very big lead in sprinting. So if you want to upgrade headquarters, following the logic of knowing what the building does, that is, well, make the production of things in the headquarters faster, you want to do it as early as possible because, well, if you have the headquarters up as fast as possible, everything else you produce after will be faster. And you don't put your headquarters to 30 because that would be, that would be a bit too much. But you can upgrade it mostly. Normally I upgrade it to like 20, 21, depending on the amount of resources that I have. Maybe in this case it seems that I put it at 20. So right after this, what's the plan? And this is still for early fight. Right after this, the plan is to upgrade barracks and stable, purely barracks and stable. So here we're already also going for smithy. That's also a big thing that you should prioritize because if you want to fight early, you need smithy. So let's see. Here you can already see 13 going up, 7 going up, and that's generally the rush that I take. If you want to like try even harder to fight early and not even necessarily outsprint your opponents, because sometimes, I don't know, you might just have like one guy near you that you really need to take out of the game. You don't need to upgrade headquarters that much. You can just full rush stable barracks and even go for some rams and then attack him. So the headquarters is only to sort of like bump you up a bit in the beginning, because if you don't upgrade that and then it gets to a point where you're getting into like level 20 barracks and things like that and you have headquarters at like 15, that's gonna take very long. So you might as well upgrade it a little bit. Usually is what I tend to do. You can check some other videos. Normally that is what I do. So let's see what continues to happen here. Here I was already like spying them. Not actually going to be looking at the fights itself, just looking at the builds. So yeah, here it's very clear what I'm doing. I continue building the barracks because the main logic for a full barracks rush is that stable, I have always been producing LCAVs, and especially when I'm playing alone, I usually go for like 1000, 1.2k spears. So that makes it so I am a bit slowed down on the axe production, which means I should upgrade a bit more barracks than I do stable. Normally the balancing that people do is, well, following the balancing of the game, right? The maximum level of stable is 20, the maximum level of barracks is 25. So normally someone would keep their stable at 20 and barracks at 15, something like that. But in this case, where I really need access and I really need offensive power, I just full rush stable because I'm not even attacking with most of my LCAVs most of the times. Light cavalry is not a unit that you want to just throw at your opponent and just die. You want to at least conserve a few of your light cavalry for in case your attack goes badly, just so you can continue to sprint even if your attack goes badly after. So here it's not really what matters. Yeah, I'm already very ahead. I ended up winning this. It was kind of close, but you can check the video after. I'm not gonna go through that now. I would like to see the build one more time. Yeah, here you can see that I already have catapults, because if I'm playing an early fight based strategy, well, most of the times I don't want to just attack them once and let them dodge and continue playing after. So here, pure catapults, catapults on the rally point if necessary, catapults on the barracks. That's the most annoying thing, because even if they dodge, their troop production will be slowed down, which is what you need to win the fight in the end. Or if they just have a lot of troops and they're permanently dodging and not losing anything, you can just catapult the farm and they can't do anything, because their farm will be full. So that's how you stop people. It really depends on what is happening. So for example, in those 7v7 rounds, you might see sometimes, well, if you have even never seen one of those videos, if not, I definitely recommend you the team versus team rounds. I will quickly show you one of them. This one right here, 1 month ago. You can watch it. Basically the logic there is, even if you clear someone, he can come back, so we just catapult him down as much as possible, and we keep on farming regardless. So if you for some reason need to fight early because someone is near you on the map and you don't want them to be farming near you, that's most likely what you want to do. However, if your goal is just to clear someone, maybe you don't need as many catapults, because they will probably just give up after. Let's say you are playing some round on the, I don't know, on the Italian server and there are only 2-3 good players. After you clear them all, it's probably over and they will stop playing. So it really depends. Of course, I mean, we're playing a strategy game. So in the end, everything depends on what your opponents are doing and what your goal is, really. So, I don't know how my village looks at the end. It's not very relevant, as the round is pretty much over at this point. Let's see if I can take a look at the village once more. I was catapulted, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, you can see here most of the times barracks, stable, a little bit of headquarters in the beginning, and then workshop as well, to a pretty good level most of the times. I keep it at like 7 to like 10, 11, depends on if I need a lot of catapults or not. So, moving on to the summary that I did, pretty big summary. Yeah, that summarizes things a lot. So, in the end, headquarters, depending on what you need and what you are willing to wait to attack people, because the more you end up upgrading headquarters, the more you are waiting to attack, at least in the short term, because in the long term it definitely is better having more HQ, because you can upgrade things faster. But anyway, HQ, normally I keep it to 2021. It's 2021, then barracks stable, rushing rams, and going into catapults if you need to, and then you either end the round by killing the opponents, or the round becomes much easier by doing that, because you have less people next to you contesting your farm. And that is the first one done, and we are now going into early academy. So early academy, well, you normally go for that in rounds that are more competitive in general. So let's now look at, for example, a .NET round. Am I blind? No, I'm not. Okay, so this round, for example, what you will see me do here, I will mute myself because it's pointless. You can watch the video if you want to. What you will see here, if the map is open, cool. Yeah, the map is really big, right? And if I played for an early fighting strategy here, what would I accomplish? Well, maybe I would be able to kill these guys near me that I'm pointing at with my cursor. Would I really get much of an advantage in the world with that? Not really. And it would also, I mean, it's pretty pointless for me to just be sending catapults to a guy 2 minutes away. It really doesn't matter, and most likely he's just gonna give the back time to some other random who will end up killing my game. So it's not very smart playing for an early game strategy here, unless you really need to kill someone that is near you, whether it is because they are decent or because, well, you just want to kill them and get rid of them, whatever. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that in cases like this, most of the times you will want to go for academy fairly early. So how do I move towards that? Well, that is a bit more of a late game strategy. So the main idea is that you are going for academy a little bit before maxing out your barracks and stable, because the logic is you are not going to be fighting. You only fight when you have nobles, basically. So you will not be wasting troops in attacking people for no reason. You only do that if you have a back time of someone, or if someone attacks you and you need to do something about it. You really don't want to waste time fighting, because if you do, well, that's slowing you down, and going for academy already slows you down. So let's say someone comes for you and even catapults your smithy down, then it's pretty bad, basically. But if you are going for academy, normally you won't be in the first places in the leaderboard, so you won't stand out a lot probably, and people will just probably think you are going for like defense or some shit. So you are most of the times fine, just chilling and upgrading for academy, because I mean people normally don't just blindly hit someone, or at least logically they shouldn't. Some people in Tribalwars don't seem to employ logic in their gameplay. So here, the logic is pretty much the same. I mean, it's going for headquarters, but in this case, especially as the map is so big, I go for much more headquarters than before. So let's see, minute here, 26. I already have headquarters going to 22. It's already a big change compared to before. And here I'm not so worried about upgrading Smithy, because I'm not gonna attack anyone early. I'm not really worried about making rams or catapults. It's not that relevant. I mean, if I were to attack someone early, yes, in this case, me going for Smithy would just make me have to spend more farm space making troops, which is not necessarily what I like to do, right? Because that means you have to upgrade farm more, and then that takes longer, and you use resources for farm and not to upgrade barracks and stable. So, or well, even Smithy. So here, I don't know how high I put my headquarters. I can probably put it to 25, because this map is really big. Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. So most of the times what you will see me do is, if I play one of these rounds, I normally stop at like 23 to 26, the headquarters level. Really depends on the amount of resources that I'm being able to loot. Here everything looks pretty full. So yeah, I have a easy top 1. I mean, I don't know how far ahead I am of everyone else. I probably don't open the leaderboard very often, because there's no reason to. So yeah, but I'm pretty ahead in points because of the headquarters rush. And then what do? Well, I upgrade a bit the barracks and the stable, probably to around 15, as I was saying earlier. So 18, 21, 14. When do I stop? I stop at, if I open the, yeah, I stop at like 22, 14. And then here, as you can see, again, the lower amount of levels on stable is a constant thing. And here I even made swords. Looks like I was really trying hard to play on this one. That's also something, well, if you are playing for a later strategy, you may want to have a little bit more defense, because the logic of making this defense is defending from back times or sniping noble trains. The later you go into the round, the more troops people will attempt to snipe you, to noble you with, or to back time you with. So also the more defensive troops you will need to be able to hold from those things. That's why you will also see me sometimes make a bit more defense than usual. But in here I'm already full rushing Smithy, as you can see. And then eventually I will have Smithy 12, Smithy 20, I'll make nobles. And you will see that I didn't fight anyone until there, I think. I showed leaderboard here. Yeah, I basically didn't fight anyone until here. It would be pretty much impossible. Imagine I just attacked like one of these guys. Okay, cool. I got rid of one guy. There's still like 20 more with 3k points. Probably not 20. But there was a good amount of people. So there is really no point in attacking anyone that early. So then, eventually made nobles. Started getting attacked. Don't know exactly by who. But in the end, what ends up happening is, and this is me just checking. It was a funny round. It was in the New Year. I was just checking the New Year fireworks and stuff while playing. So here you can already see I was the first one to conquer the village. this makes me be able to basically double my production of troops effectively, which is, well, in the end, what you want to do. Like, you can upgrade your barracks and your stable as much as you want, but there is a limit on 2520. Well, there isn't really a limit on conquering villages though. So that's like the biggest advantage you can have in the game, is a village number advantage. That's why in higher start rounds we usually go for conquering barbarian villages. In a low start round it doesn't really make much sense because they are on 70 points, so it's pretty useless. But if the round has more points in the beginning, you are pretty well off just conquering barbs in the beginning, so that you have a lot more villages than your opponents. And it's basically employing that logic into a low start round, what this strategy is. And in the end, I mostly come out on top because I am conquering a lot more villages than anyone else, and I just farm in all of them, and I, well, continue to make nobles, continue to make troops, and you just scale much more than if you were to just stand still on one village upgrading barracks and stable. So it's good to upgrade barracks and stable, of course, as you saw in the previous way of playing the early fight. But if you want to win the round, this is probably your best bet. I mean, I guess it depends, right? As I was saying in the previous one, if you don't have much of a competition in the round, or if the map is really small and you can just take people out, might as well just do that. So in the end, as I usually say, it really depends on what you are going for and what your objective is, and, well, depends on the round, on the map, etc, etc. So let's look at the summary I did for this one. Generally HQ to 2325, barracks stable 2015, or around that. Not attacking anyone early unless necessary for back times, and academy right after. Gain an advantage over your opponents by having more villages than them, and over time you produce more troops than them. And that's pretty much the logic of it. Very well summed up. Then the fourth thing we have here is need for resources. What exactly does that mean, you may ask? Well, need for resources is not very common in open rounds, because most of the times you will find a lot of people. Like, let's look into a random round now. Let's see. I'm already like wasting time. So you look at this round, and most of the times this is what you will have, right? You will have few people farming, and also a lot of like inactive noobs, which will make the map be pretty big and with a lot of abandoned villages. So most of the times you will have enough resources and you can just go up by farming villages. However, there may be situations, like in a 7v7, which is not very likely that you will ever play, because it's not likely anyone ever will. But it might be the case that you need to upgrade mines because, well, you simply have no other way of getting resources. Either it is because, well, in a 7v7 can be because you have a lot of people nearby. Let's look at this map, for example. Maybe it will be the case that I have a lot of people nearby. Well, the map is not loaded. Cool. Here it is loaded. So, I mean, I could say I had some people nearby, but I was kind of in the center of the map, so it was not that bad. But in general, it's very different having a fairly decently sized map with a lot of people that aren't farming, just like the round that I showed you. And it's another thing to have 14 guys in a round, all 14 farming. So it's two very different things. And in this round, you will see that I upgraded mines, right? That I am upgrading mines. And that is not even the video that I had opened as an example of that. So I will go to that video. And that video is... it is... I'm showing you the list of videos so you can easily find it if you want to. Where is it though? Probably already passed by it. And it's this one. So here, this, here, if I am able to look at the leaderboard at the map, a little bit before, please, play, come on. So here, you can see the map is pretty small. Can you cursor, can the cursor not be there? That would be cool. Cool. It's still there. Okay, whatever. So you can see the map is pretty small. There's a pretty good amount of people near me. There's this guy from Tribalwars, there's these two guys. And, well, it turned out that I would have 3 guys playing against me on this round. This is the leader. No, it's not. Where is the leaderboard? Here. It turned out that in this round I would have these guys, these two, this one as well, all playing against me. So this was a 3v1. If I go later on the video, you will see that I was always ahead in points. But the logic of this, at first, is you always want to try to farm as much as possible, regardless of whatever the map situation you may be on is. Because if you are fast in the beginning, you can always get a big advantage. So that is what I do. That is what I end up doing. But let's go a bit more far away into time, and you will already see something unusual. I mean, I guess it's not extremely unusual, but it's me upgrading a mine to level 16. Like, it's pretty high up. And here you will see me also upgrade clay, which probably means it's not looking too good. I mean, I was first in farm, but I'm 20 minutes into the round. Normally I get 1 million at, like, I don't know, sometimes even 24, 26 minutes, and we are not even halfway through. So it's not looking good, and so I need resources. And so, well, this is not the greatest secret ever that I'm about to tell you, but well, I just upgrade resources. That's it. That's quite literally it. And that is what you will see me do pretty soon, because it becomes really hard to upgrade anything. The logic here was the same though. The logic was to go fast in points up, go up fast, go for troops, which is why I already have rams and all that, but it got to a point where it simply became almost unsustainable to continue playing, so I had to upgrade mines. However, you will see the big difference in this. That is, the other guys, they were so behind. Let me see if I ever show the leaderboard again. I probably do, but this only shows a second of it, or whatever, something like that. Leaderboard, please. No. No. Well, here? I saw something. Play. Did I click on classification? Yes, no. Maybe a little bit back. I'm not sure. Anyway, well, you can already see this guy was probably top 2, and he was on 1k points. I opened this village, whatever. So I was ahead of them in points, but well, so this is what happened. I got spammed. Oh, there's one more guy that I didn't even notice. Okay, doesn't really matter. In the end, the idea of this is that, well, the faster you sprint early, the more advanced into your plan you can get. So here my plan was to fight early. So the better I sprint early, the more advanced into that I can get. And I can get my stable and my barracks to a decent level, start making troops, and then maybe a bit hard to sustain over time, but with upgrading mines, you are almost able to keep things up. So here you see 21, going to 15 and 18. That is pretty unusually high. And well, in some private rounds with less power-ups and things like that, this is also what you will have seen me do if you watch me play one of those. Generally, this is not something you will have to do a lot. Most of the times you have a pretty decent source of resources just by farming abandoned villages, but sometimes it might be the case where you really do need to upgrade resources. And I feel like before, it was pretty funny, because before, when I started playing, you would be like shamed for upgrading resources. There's two types of upgrading resources, right? There's upgrading resources when you need them, and there is just upgrading resources. Yeah, if you are just upgrading resources, you should definitely be ashamed. However, if you know to upgrade, like, I don't know, wood when you need wood more than any other resource, that's great, because, well, over time it will definitely help you sustain the production, well, everywhere, in your barracks and in your stable. I meant in your headquarters and your stable and barracks, that's what I meant. So overall, it's something that is, well, it's a part of the game, and it's always good to have some constant production, independent of however your farm may be doing. Because, I mean, let's say you lose all of your troops. If you have no mines, the game's over. If you have mines and your opponents kind of forgot about you, you can kind of come back and start making troops again, because you still have some production. So it's not something you have to be like scared of doing or feel like upgrading resources is inefficient. Just do it when you need to. In this case, I really needed to. there was no way to escape that. And yeah, it's not something you should be scared of doing and feel like you are being inefficient in any way. If you need to upgrade resources, upgrade resources. If not, even better, because you are using your time of upgrading things in your headquarters to upgrade more useful things, because resource mines will not make your troops produce faster. However, it will not matter if you are producing troops faster or not if you can't keep up with production. So yeah, that's the general logic of it. The summary for this one is it's pretty small. So if farming is hard, whether it is because you don't have many barbs, or you have a lot of good or decent players around you and all of them are farming, ideally, as I was saying, you would play like in the second method. You would like to fight early sometime, so you eliminate your competition, the people who are farming around you. However, if it is way too many people and if they are all from different teams, you will want to stall the game a little bit. And how you do that is by upgrading resources, of course, so that you wait for others to fight, and then when you see, for example, that their OD has gone up, the defeated opponents, you can attack them and well, get a free kill, probably because they all lost a lot of troops fighting each other. So the idea here is basically well, not getting bored while your opponents get bored and end up fighting each other, hopefully, because, well, if that happens, you secure a win fairly easily. And that is about it. That's all. We can now get rid of all of these, and I hope this was helpful. I really do. Yeah, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you feel like there is something I should still cover, something that is a part of the game that I have not yet covered, like I did this now, or like I did the 15-minute sprint, whatever. Do let me know, because if that exists, I definitely want to talk about it, so you can get my perspective on it, and well, you can learn from it. But well, as usual, don't just copy what I was saying here. Please adapt over time and come up with your own strategy. This is just my general way of doing it. I don't do this every time, and I don't not do this every time either. It depends. So yeah, I will see you on the next time. Bye bye.